All right, evil characters in your campaign.
Yes.
Players playing evil characters.
The dark side, it holds you.
No, we're not doing Yoda 2 in a row. All right. So, evil character, your campaign. Do you allow can one of your players play an evil character if they want? Just broad answer.
Depends on the player, but the answer is yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm on the same boat, and it depends on the character as well.
Depends on the character, depends on the player. There's
But,
some players
the answer is yes. As a broad range, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with an evil character in the campaign. Almost regardless of whatever the campaign is.
Depends on the player whether they think that murder hoboing is the default state of evil.
I just have 3 main rules for myself. Yours might be different. I've got 3 main rules if it comes to a evil character in my campaign. So if my player wants to play an evil character, the player character needs to be willing and have a good reason to work with the other allies, the other player characters. The other player characters have to be willing to work with that person. They can't be doing things that inherently disallows this relationship or teamwork, right? And additionally, that evil character has to have a good reason of wanting to be on and doing the main adventure. They're not just along for the ride. They have to have some kind of stake in the matter, right?
Yeah, like wealth hoarded.
Yes. Not necessarily, but yes. All right. So
gathering souls for the dark god.
So that's my main thing. Both sides need to be willing to work with each other, and the evil, but all of them have to be on board with doing the main adventure and what the story is we're trying to tell. Right. For me, that's
What's the third rule?
When I redescribed it, I combined those two, but it is 2 separate things. Whether or not the one side will work with the other, or the other side will work with them. Because those do happen independently from each other.
Yes. I just had to point it out because...
Well, yes. When I redescribed it, I joined those together. Yes. All right. How about you? What's your limiting factors there?
Well, first and foremost, the limiting factor is I would have to come up with an evil campaign.
Oh, so you're suggesting an entire group of evil?
Yeah.
Yes, I'd run an evil campaign, but let's imagine you're not running an evil campaign, because that's its own topic, and I want to get into that in a second.
First and foremost, running an evil campaign would have its natural own flow to it.
Wait. Before we get into running the evil campaign,
that's
its own topic.
I'm just grabbing a pin.
Okay.
And defining the evil campaign. It has its own flow and it has its own rules that it operates under. So, pin that right there.
So you have a good campaign that also has its pin.
And then you have what's
the pin's right there.
The neutral and good campaigns, which kind of flow in their own manner. So we would have to establish that is the party mostly evil, somewhat evil, or is it just literally just one person that's evil?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have to ask the player, what is their goals as an evil character?
Okay.
Given the campaign. Because if they describe their character as a hacky slashy steely kind of self-centered monster, I would decline that character right into the garbage can right there.
Yeah.
Because that character it would violate your first rule and then force the other players to fail on the second rule.
Yeah.
So that would be a no. But if the player describes their character as someone who is planning in the long haul, They're trying to gather wealth. They're trying to gather
Maybe
knowledge.
you are off on this mission right now to go and stop this evil whatever person, and they've got this great um, eternal gem that's giving them this evil power that is bringing great destruction on the land. So your entire party goes to deal with this, but this player character is on board because they want the gem to use himself.
Yeah, that's an option. They might want to just simply stop the other evil group. It's sort of like Team Aqua versus Team Magma.
Yes.
One group has one opinion on how to change the world. The other group has another opinion, and you decide you want the other group not to succeed, so your team can succeed. You can have sort of an accumulation of power situation, like you're trying to gather information on the party or something like that for a future event in the future.
So there has to be
You might be trying to gather information.
So I do apologize because we already talked about alignment. It sounds like what you're less okay with is chaotic evil.
Chaotic evil is one of those situations where the player might simply just decide to just do things that causes a sudden drama dynamic in the party, and that's a difficult problem. If they're neutral evil or lawful evil, and they have some kind of rule system they're operating on, and that defines, like, I'm trying to gather these specific objects, or my party's traveling around the world, and at various points I'm trying to gather souls for my dark god or my patron.
Yeah.
Or I'm trying to I have this bag, and inside of it there's various magic items I'm trying to spread around the world at various key locations.
Yeah.
That we're happen to be traveling to with my party, that I can leave these items there that will corrupt that area or create a portal gate or something other else.
So does this inherently, in these last three examples you just gave, with the seed of corruption, the portal gate, the so on and so forth, right? These require a level of secrecy that the party doesn't know this is occurring.
Yeah. You can do things that result in a set of events that might not occur in this campaign, but might occur in a future sequel campaign further down the line. And in which case, then the new party can try to fight the new evil bad guy. Which
it's like your character is like Johnny Appleseed, but seeds of corruption across the land.
Mm-hmm.
He's just making his way along. What are you doing over there, Johnny? Digging a hole. I'm gonna plant something.
Yeah. So
the botanist of
so the evil character might be doing stuff that might harm the party at some point, at like some ultimate point at the end of the adventure.
What are you, some kind of arboreal monster?
Yeah. Or they might be doing something that doesn't affect the party. The party simply is just a convenient conduit to get to a objective.
I agree, but I just want to point out that's a really good reference there, the arboreal monster, because corporeal is also a thing, so it's got that rhyming theme to it, and arboreal is other relating to trees, and we're talking Johnny Appleseed of Chaos, Corruption, Planting is. Anyways.
Yep.
So...
Or your character could just be out to gather as much wealth and money and power.
Which is, I would say that's fine as well, because you can...
and they could still work with the party because the party is helping them accumulate wealth and status within society.
But what if
that they can later on use to
what if you go
access,
slightly further and the warlock then uses his spell distort value to rob the general store by selling him something that's not worth what it looked like it was worth? Are the players going to want to work with that player who just used his spell the generally correct way?
the party may or may not, depending on whether that's their personal choices in that situation, or even if the party is going to go back to that area again in the future.
It could affect it, yeah. But it depends on the campaign, really, and the players. Overall, though, I think we're generally on the same page here. Yeah, we'd allow evil characters, but it has to... Would you agree roughly those same 3 starting rules?
Yeah.
The evil character has to have a reason to work with the party has to have a reason to work with the evil person, they can't be doing things that the other person can't vibe with and cohesively work as a team with, and everyone involved, including the evil character, has to have a reason to be actually doing the objective of the campaign, which is just kind of like a baseline to a D&D campaign.
And then modifying addendum into like the second rule is the question of, is the players, if it's not just the party might be ignorant of the evil character.
Yes, that is true.
But the players themselves, are they okay with the other player playing a secret evil character?
I feel like a lot of people would be. If I were playing some uptight paladin who's super, I follow my oath, I love my god, he's everything to me, but you could have the evil rogue on the sideline stealing, and the paladin would be a complete total dickhead about it if he caught the rogue stealing, like, oh, holier than thou, right? But like the player's just like, please don't let me ever catch you. Yes, just keep stealing. Take it all. Take it all.
Yeah.
Because I'd be the one to play either one of those 2 characters.
Yeah. And that's perfectly acceptable. And that's probably the more important variant of that question. If it's specifically the players that are okay with it, and it might not necessarily be the characters that are okay with it.
Can you hide it
from them?
But
can the evil character sufficiently come up with a means of hiding it, either by obscuring it, or making it simply not visible?
Yeah.
Either putting a pretty picture on it, or simply just
I should
hiding it.
I should play a warlock that does that. They are evil. They are just planting seeds of corruption as they go around. Hey, what are you doing over there? Nothing.
Yeah. Oh, you're just gardening.
I'm just gardening. I like to plant things.
Yeah. You're planting gaffus sticks in the ground. It'll sprout into a tree. You have pure evil that spreads.
I'm actually digging a small hole over here. Those little rodents over there, like that little gerbil and bunny rabbit, they use these little nesting spots. It keeps them safe and everything else. All right. So, evil characters.
Or you might be digging up something.
True.
You might be...
I'm checking the dirt samples over here.
Yeah. You might actually be digging up a fragment of your dark god.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're just collecting it. Or say like the fused shadow from Legend
You're
of Zelda
right.
Twilight
I
Princess,
should make a
where you're putting together a mask or a magic item that grants yourself an incredible magical dark powers.
You came up with a great character idea. I could make a warlock that's an archaeologist, and they're just going around.
He loves those.
No.
He loves both of those.
The story gets better. The warlock is an archaeologist, and they're collecting different treasures from their adventures with their party. Maybe they could start a museum or something like that as well.
That sounds like an evil version of Winston Waltworth.
No, that is what Winston did. Don't you remember he had his entire...
But he wasn't evil.
He wasn't evil, no.
We're talking about an evil version of that.
Yes, it is an evil version of that. All right. We're both good with evil characters. Yep. The character and the player needs to vibe with the party, though, and needs to fit the campaign. So just generally things that a character should do. They don't get a pass from doing those things because they're evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching. Do you have anything else on the topic of evil characters before we continue?
No.
Farewell. We'll see you next time.
And thank you for all the fish.
And so long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah.